easy to see to resume this game. They scored in the only opportunity that he had. We had many chances, we didn't score. If you don't score goals, you are not going to win games.
I suppose the real priority today was to be able to give rest to players that needed the rest, to give minutes to players that needed minutes, and in that you've succeeded, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the idea, but that is not our focus. Our focus is to win games. Of course, we want to protect, and you understand the context, and we need to protect players from this sequence, thinking about the Europa League also, but we need to have more points on the table, and it's really frustrating to be better than the opponent, create chances, but then lose the game.
Left-hand side for you today with Tyler Fredrickson and Alejandro Garnacho and Harry Mas. I thought they were excellent.
They were really good, and they deserved a better memory from this game because we were better, but we need to score goals. So they play really, really well, and they deserve better.
What does the rest of this week look like for you now in terms of training and recovery?
Yeah, now we are going to recover from this sequence. Then we are going to return to prepare Bournemouth and also Europa League.
Ruben, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sometimes, isn't it, football can be a bit cruel, great performance and don't necessarily get what you deserve?
No, yeah, like I said, it is football in a nutshell. Sometimes if you have a good game but don't score any goals, yeah, then opposition will always have a chance to take the lead and take the win, and unfortunately they did that today.
Plenty of positives to take out of the game, especially with the youngsters. Harry Mas, I thought, was brilliant. Tyler Fredrickson, excellent. What was it like playing alongside them today?
No, I think I'm happy for both of them. Obviously, Harry has played a few games, but Tyler today, and the ones he's trained with us, the few times he's trained with us and performing today, I think he's a bright kid. I mean, they're both really working hard and earning their chance in the team, and I think they can both be very proud of what they've achieved today.
Didn't look out of place at all, did they, either of them?
No, I think they look very comfortable. Yeah, like playing with them like yes before was good fun. I hope they enjoyed it and keep their memory apart from the loss, but for their own development further, I think they'd be very proud.
How much did Thursday night, do you think, impact what happened today? It was always going to be difficult to sort of get over the emotion of Thursday coming into today.
Yeah, I think that was pretty easy. I think to get over. I think obviously we changed a lot of the team from Thursday, so in that sense we're not that much different. I think we had our chances today, no matter if we played Thursday or not. I think we had enough energy to win the game, and in the end it was just small details that we weren't good enough in the last end.
Christian, I'm sorry it hasn't gone your way today, and we'll catch up soon.
Sure, thank you.
O'Hara, that's the match you were watching. Manchester United 0, Wolves 1. It's their 15th Premier League defeat of the season. Was it deserved?
Yeah. I'd say they didn't do enough to get anything from the game. Wolves come with a plan to sit in and be resilient, and then they get the goal with a great free kick from Sarabia, who just comes on, makes an impact straight away. And Wolves were good defensively. I think it was 5 wins on the bounce in the Premier League. Brilliant stat from them. Brilliant finish to the season. Vito Pereira's turned it around, done the anything in the game to try and win it. And Højlund up front, come on, give me something. No one gets me off my seat. I used to watch Man United. Players get you off your seat every single week. The only player who did do that for me was Garnacho, but even he's gone off the ball, and he's letting himself down with some of his first touch, and is he got the fire in his belly to really be a top player there? I'm not sure. I was just disappointed. I don't know if this formation works. I really don't. And listen, they had heroics the other night against Lyon. Heroics. But let's not forget they were 4-2 down. And it was only a miracle that got them out of a hole. A miracle. They fell apart. And they got themselves out of a hole and they win the game 5-4, which is just ridiculous. That might happen once every 5-10 years, right? But week in, week out, Manchester United have got massive problems. Massive problems. The players, the structure and the formation, he ain't got the players for it. He hasn't got the players for it. I'm looking at it. Manu can't play in that formation. Bruno's wasted in that formation. Eriksen can't get up and down in that formation. Garnacho can't play in that formation. Højlund don't do nothing up front on his own. They haven't got wing backs. They got the team don't work. So in the summer, they've got to have a massive look at who they're going to turn to, who are they going to bring in. Are you going to invest loads of money in Manchester United, loads of money, to get a new team that fits Amorim's style, 3-4-3? But if that don't work and they get rid of him, well, then you're stuck with players who play 3-4-3.
From Wolves' point of view, though, we were talking before the show. What they've done is they've been difficult to beat. When you stay in the game for long periods, you can go and win these games 1-0. That's what Wolves have been doing. Difficult to break down, disciplined, organised, aggressive when they play, work really hard. They've been getting wins. And they've got quality, like I said, Strands-Larsen, Cunha, Sarabia there with a wonderful free kick. That's what happens when you keep yourself in games. Too many of these teams down the bottom, they want to play the beautiful game. And you can't because you ain't got good enough players. Just play pragmatic. Do what you're good at. Be difficult to break down.
Jamie, just finally, do you think that maybe this performance could have been coming because of the message Ruben Amorim sent out after the win against Lyon? That, look, I'm going to change the team. It's clear that our priority is the Europa League.
Yeah, I don't think he's helped matters. I think sometimes I think he can be too honest. You know, when he comes out and says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to play young kids and, you know, the focus is on... I get that, but you're still Manchester United Football Club. And where are they now in the table? 15th? 15th in the table? I think Wolves nearly on level points with them. Wolves, level on points.
Wolves are 15th now.
Yeah, so, I mean, come on, it's unacceptable. And I get it. You got a semi-final. I get it. You might get beat by Bilbao. And it's a disaster of a season for Manchester United. And there's still players out there who I expect a lot more from. Some good players on that.
These players are on trial as well. Let's not get it twisted. They're on trial for their careers at Man United. Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to try and push them out the door. Especially with those players that have got like 1 year left. They're going to try and get rid of them. They need to be playing now with a bit of hunger in their belly, a bit of pride. They're not doing it.
No, I'm not convinced. Not convinced of Man United at all. Not convinced of anything they've shown today. It was a poor performance.
Yeah, not a good afternoon for Manchester United. Not a good season so far for Manchester United in the Premier League at least. But contrary to that, Liverpool are having
The players did well.
Yeah, listen, I thought we actually did okay in the game. We dominated, created more chances. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. I know they get a free kick and score a wonderful free kick. But in all, you know, it was, like you've said, it was a little bit flat. Couldn't quite get anything going. And you know, we had opportunities in the game to put the ball in the back of the net, but we just couldn't quite do it again. So, listen, they'd be disappointed with that, but I always think after a big game, you know, you really have to step it up a level, you know, to try and keep that going, because it's, especially when you make changes as well, you have to put a little bit more into it, and we just couldn't quite get to, you know, that same sort of aura as we did on Thursday.
Yeah. What was your assessment of the game, Danny?
I just feel we lacked the killer instinct in the final third. You know, we had much more of the ball. I think we had about 60% of the possession. I felt that at the back, the boys were strong, they were comfortable all game. I felt that they didn't really cause us many problems. I think we've just got to be ruthless when we get in the final third, and we're getting some great areas. You know, the ball flashes across, which it did a few times.
How many times did that happen? I know.
Numerous times. And it's frustrating because, you know, as a forward, it's a tapping for you. But I know when it's not going for you, sometimes you make the wrong run, or you don't quite get there, or you don't believe it's going to come, and then it comes across, and then you sort of berate yourself a little bit. And it's like all of those things that are going on. You can see Rasmus is just sometimes trying to think about where he should be instead of just doing it instinctively, and that's what happens when you're not in good form and you're not scoring goals. And I feel that's the difference sometimes. And
yeah, you're talking milliseconds.
100%. Yeah, the intention's there, and the idea is to be there is there. But
and the right run is there, just the wrong timing.
Just the timing. Sometimes when you think about it a second longer and it's gone, and the defenders are always anticipating. So that was the difference, I think, in the box. I think we defended our box well. Just in the final third, we weren't ruthless enough in the attacking box.
The difference was that spectacular curling free kick, as I said, Wes, and sometimes those sorts of goals, I mean, if that's the only difference between the game, I mean, that's what it was, the difference between the games. We were the better team. Yeah.
Listen, it was a wonderful free kick. Yeah. You can't stop those. You can't stop that, and fair play to them. I mean, they kept going in the game, but if you look at the whole of the game, like Danny said, I mean, we had the majority of the chances. You know, we was on top most of the game. We were pretty comfortable. They didn't create loads. You know, I never thought we were panicking. But a set piece is the one that can always, you know, undo you. And it was a wonderful set piece from them. I still think we should have scored. Rasmus did come very close with his run that you just talked about, and that's the thing. In that sort of sense, it's not quite going for us this season in general. We're just not quite in the right places at the right time. And listen, when you don't score, games like this will all be lost because they need 1 or 2 chances and they'll score. But again, the performances of the young lads that played, I thought they did really well. They can keep the head high tonight, and it's just a little bit disappointing that it had to go the way it did.
Yeah, they probably didn't deserve to be in a losing side today. The two boys who made their full Old Trafford debuts, particularly Eriksen. I mean, to come on and show control and discipline like that for your senior debut is incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think one of the biggest compliments you can pay is that he didn't look out of place.
Yeah.
He looked like, you know, he made the right decisions, and he looked like he'd been there for a long time. So you've got to give him huge credit, because as we said before the game, you never know until you're out there what somebody's going to react like.
It's either sink or swim, as I said.
Sink or swim, and I thought he swam. So fair play. And I watched Harry Mass now. He's had a few appearances, start to express himself a little bit more, get into the game, go forward, have the ball at his feet, and enjoy himself. So I think they are the two strong positives that come out of that performance.
Amas probably contender for man of the match with that performance. Just on Eriksen, he is the 4,313th player. That's 4,313 consecutive games that an academy player has been involved in a matchday squad here at Old Trafford. He is the 254th academy graduate to make his senior debut. Do you know what number you were, Wes? Oh, I should have looked that up before, shouldn't I?
No.
We'll find out for you. But anyway, he is the 254th academy graduate to make his debut. And we talked about it before the game, the DNA of this club. That's what it's all about. And it's incredible to see another one today making their debut.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Listen, the club have always had high standards for the sort of the youth team coming up and trying to get them to the first team sort of standard. And listen, regardless of manager, we've managed to do that throughout the years, many years now, and hopefully, you know, mate can continue as well. But I mean, these lads that, you know, sometimes they have to wait a long time. You know, you get to a point when you're 16, you come to the club, your dream's just to play, but some of them wait till early 20s. You know, but when you put a performance in like that, it was, you know, time well spent. Just getting ready for that one match like we talked about, and they can keep their heads high tonight, like I said, and hopefully from this now, you know, they grow even more, and we see a lot more of them coming through.
Well, it's given Ruben an insight into what he can potentially have available to him next season as well, Danny, before, you know, the transfer window opens and all that talk continues again.
Yeah, and I think had we been in the top 6/4, these boys wouldn't have had a chance. So there is always a silver lining, and part of his preparation for next season, as you say, is knowing, okay, I can actually trust him. I like the way he plays. He'll fit into my system. I don't have to spend money there because he's coming through. And it's given him an insight that he probably wouldn't have had we been competing. So as much as we want to be at the top of the table, sometimes you do have to look at it and think for the greater good, which is some of the academy boys an opportunity. You know, you kind of, you know, it's not a bad thing to see those boys out there at all.
You were number 157, Danny.
Was that?
Yeah. And Wes, you were 146.
Okay.
Did you two not know that?
I didn't know that, no.
Every day is a school day, isn't it?
Good.
So yeah, from 146 to 254 today, Eriksen, incredible performance from him. If you were to vote for a man of the match today, Wes, who would that be?
I'm probably going to go Amas today. I thought he was, like we've talked about, he was very good going forward. You know, you could see him expressing himself a little bit more. Some of the balls he put into the box, and which we've missed a little bit this season. You know, and I don't think the players were really ready for it, but were excellent. And like I said, I think there'll be big things coming from him next season, especially.
And what about you, Danny?
I'd agree. I thought Harry Mass was very good. He was expansive. You look at what you want from someone playing in that role. You need them getting up and down and having the ball comfortably and putting crosses into the box, and he did that, you know, numerous times. So for me, I'd agree with Wesley, Harry Mass.
Okay, from 157 and 146th academy graduate to 131st, that is Ben Thornley. He's with Liam.
Fine tidings for Manchester United are that they are now safe from relegation, the grim ones are that this occurred despite going down to a 15th defeat of a dismal Premier League campaign. Wolves' winner was simple. On 77 minutes, Pablo Sorribio, on as a substitute only 120 seconds before, placed a 20-yard free kick sweetly to the left of Onana, Christian Eriksen having committed the foul for the dead ball. Toward the end, Mason Mount twice spurned close-range openings to grab a share of the points at least. First, he scooped over wildly. Then, at Eriksen's outside of the right foot delivery, he spooned the volley wide. This late phase of the contest was, at last, a little watchable. While no one could expect a repeat of Thursday's operatic extra-time added seconds United win over Lyon, you would not expect, either, this battle of 14th versus 16th to be so soporific. When Rasmus Højlund collected by the touchline near Ruben Amorim's technical area and left Emmanuel Agbadou trailing and galloped into yards of grass, the game had a first moment of skill and verve 50 minutes in. The striker, starved of service all term by his misfiring unit, looked up, so teammates arriving on the far side, ignored them, dawdled, and Wolves escaped. Moments later, a dash of pantomime as Nelson Semedo, the visiting captain, bent a back pass towards an empty goal, causing his goalkeeper, Dan Bentley, a scramble to mop the ball up to jeers. On 58 minutes, Amorim made a triple change, a function of wishing to shake proceedings up and give Kobbie Mainoo, Patrick Dorgu and Manuel Ugarte a rest following their endeavours on Thursday. On came Mount, Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot, and United continued to be the brighter of the foes, keeping and flicking the ball about inside Wolves' territory. A slick move had Eriksen walling the ball to Alejandro Garnacho, who sprinted down a left-sided channel and crossed Højlund, with a solitary league goal since the middle of December in United colours, was inches away from stabbing home a second, but the ball slid past agonisingly.